First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Well, they had them outnumbered 2-1, but in the end, the robbery suspects picked the wrong target in Norfolk.
Police say they tried to rob two undercover officers outside a McDonald's on Compostela Road. The officers fired their guns. Now, we can tell you who police arrested. 10 on your side, Stephanie Harris is in the newsroom with this new information. Stephanie?
Nicole, Tom, we're not going to show you their pictures just yet because police are using them in a lineup, but maybe you know them by name. They are Alfredo Calleguero, Walter Martin, and Jordan Anderson of Virginia Beach, and Devontae Davis of Norfolk. All of them 19 years old and now charged with some serious crimes. Police want to make sure nothing got left behind that could help put away four teens they say tried to rob two brothers in blue in the parking lot of this McDonald's on Compostela and Indian River roads. It seems pretty clear the suspects had no idea what they were getting into. Police say the unmarked cars were parked right here, side by side, and the undercover officers were not wearing uniforms. So they say when the masked men pulled their guns, the police pulled their guns back and fired.
They had two cars over here, and they blocked it all.
Ernest Collins saw the commotion from his front window, although his wife can't believe he pulled himself away from the TV long enough to see anything.
24 hours a day.
But he did.
Look down the street there. They pull a car on the side there, up the street there. That's there.
Ernest wasn't sure what exactly was going on out here in the dark, and neither he nor Bernice was about to go check it out.
When it starts getting dark, I'll lock up and close up.
The neighborhood is mostly older folks who all waited safely behind closed doors to get their news from us and witnesses we interviewed, like Jasmine, who is working in the restaurant.
I was scared. I thought a bullet was going to come my way.
Still scared, she wouldn't say much.
That's all I know. I don't want nobody to come behind me, kill me, none of that.
Police tell us one suspect got shot. He's expected to recover. The undercover officers were not hurt, and Ernest and Bernice are back to their normal routines.
It's nice and quiet.
And hoping it stays that way. Police tell me that Jordan Anderson is the one who got shot in the arm. They caught him when he went to a Norfolk hospital for treatment this morning. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.
The officers involved were both assigned to the department's Vice and Narcotics Division. They're on administrative duty during the investigation.
Two families in Chesapeake have quite a story to tell after a hostage ordeal. Detectives accused 28-year-old John McNeil Sr. of the crime. It occurred at Rogers and Guerre Streets in the South Norfolk section. One woman was held hostage, and 6 others in that house got caught up in the crime, but no one was hurt. 10 on your side's Katie Collette spoke with one victim, and Katie, she says McNeil is her ex-boyfriend.
That's right, Tom, and she refuses to call what happened here today a hostage situation. Well, she didn't want to go on camera. She tells me when McNeil came into her home, she was only frightened for the first 20 minutes. She said after that she was convinced that he was not going to hurt anybody inside that home. However, Chesapeake police say they had reason to believe otherwise.
My brother left out of the house around like almost 5 o'clock. The next thing I know, the officers was calling us, telling us to evacuate the building. I thought it was a joke. My brother's a prankster.
But when Edward Holmes got outside, he quickly learned this was no prank.
It was like full of squad cars and SWAT teams, and they took us out. They went and explained to us what was going on, anything.
Investigators say since 3 in the morning, 28-year-old John McNeil Sr. held a woman hostage while 2 other adults and 4 children were also in the home. The victim says McNeil came to the front door, drunk and holding a hammer. Not long after, police arrived. The victim says McNeil's mother called 911 because he left her home upset and knew he was headed to his ex's place.
It was pretty intense for a while. Didn't know what was going to happen. Didn't want to see anybody get injured.
Al Ward watched the whole thing from his car. The streets filled with police, the SWAT team, and negotiators.
The cops said several times over a microphone for him to either come out or answer the phone, and evidently he wasn't answering the phone.
But apparently McNeil did get the message. Roughly 4 hours after it all began, 2 of the adults and the children inside walked out. One of those adults, Charles Jefferson.
He wasn't threatening to us at all, but he's sporadically nervous for himself. But because he was nervous for himself, he was talking chaotic and broken language.
Around 8, the final hostage was released, and McNeil gave himself up.
I feel great. I'm alive.
Jefferson rejoicing that things ended peacefully. And while we were speaking with the ex-girlfriend, McNeil actually called while still in police custody and apologized to her for what happened here today. Meanwhile, Chesapeake police say they only charged McNeil with 1 count of abduction because they say they don't have enough evidence to prove the other 6 inside the home were held against their will. Live in Chesapeake, Katie Collette, 10 on your side.
And one of the victims told us McNeil had one very disturbing goal in mind when he got to the home. You're going to hear that part of the story new at 6. Well, this is the second hostage ordeal this week in Chesapeake. Early Sunday morning, police say Charles Collins shot and killed his former girlfriend's son, 40-year-old Michael Temple, and boyfriend, 19-year-old Derwin Watts, at an apartment off Canal Drive in Deep Creek. That standoff ended when police shot Collins in the head, and Collins is currently in the hospital but facing murder charges.
We have breaking news out of Norfolk now. The city manager made his recommendation for the future of Waterside.
2 proposals were left on the table, and tonight Marcus Jones put his support behind the Cordish Company project for Waterside Live. The cost of this project is about $30 million, and Jones says he picked this plan because there's no upfront capital investment required.
We will have reaction to this decision and what's next coming up tonight on WAVY News 10 at 6.
Well, tonight in Virginia Beach, City Council will be talking about the tide. Could it be headed to the resort city? More on the big vote that could decide whether the tide moves in tonight at 5:30.
Police say a motorcycle rider hit a pothole, lost control, fell off the bike, and caused an accident involving 8 other vehicles. It happened at about 6 this morning on Indian River Road at the ramp to Interstate 64 in Virginia Beach. Investigators say the driver behind the motorcycle slammed on the brakes to avoid hitting the motorcycle, and the other vehicles rear-ended each other. A 10 on Your Side viewer sent this picture to report it at wavy.com. A driver complaining of neck pain went to the hospital. 5 vehicles had to be towed away from there. Police say charges are pending. Suffolk police are investigating a deadly accident. It happened around 9:30 last night on East Pinner Street. Investigators say a vehicle hit and killed 22-year-old Justin White. A Suffolk resident went to get into their car and found all 4 tires slashed. Police say it happened Monday morning on Burbage Lake Circle off of 664. The victim says someone also slashed his co-worker's tires. They live in the same neighborhood.
Well, bridge work is behind tonight's 10-time saver traffic alert. VDOT is closing the Gilmerton Bridge in Chesapeake for the weekend. The Gilmerton will close Friday night at 8 o'clock. It's set to reopen by 5 a.m. Monday. Drivers should use the high-rise bridge as an alternate.
Dr. Jill Biden will be in Newport News tomorrow. The Vice President's wife will visit Lee Hall Elementary School. The event will highlight the importance of understanding the needs of military children in schools. It is not open to the public.
The search is on for the man who tried to abduct a young girl in Jamestown.
Absolutely terrifying. It's terrifying. I moved to this neighborhood because I thought that this was a safe place for my children.
You're going to hear more from the girl's mother about the moment her daughter came running home hysterical. It's new at 5:30.
Also ahead, 11 workers killed and 200 million gallons of crude oil spilled. It's been more than 2 years since the Gulf oil disaster. Tonight, the first criminal charges have been filed. Who was arrested and why?
And the explosions that injured 2 firefighters is caught on tape. We'll tell you where the blast came from.
And a look at our temperatures today, mid-60s, a little warmer, but a lot of sunshine, not nearly as much wind either. It's going to warm up further from here, but with a twist tomorrow night. We'll tell you all about it in a few minutes.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Shad, Nicole Ribas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
Tonight, the first criminal charges in the Gulf oil spill. A former BP engineer is accused of intentionally destroying evidence. The Justice Department says Kurt Mix of Katy, Texas, deleted 300 text messages with a BP supervisor in October of 2010 about how efforts to cap the well failed. 11 men died when that Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico 2 years ago, and 200 million gallons of oil leaked.
4 explosions sent 2 California firefighters to the hospital. Wow, a police officer's dashboard camera recorded the blast Sunday in Orange County. The firefighters went to the hospital with minor burns. Investigators say the explosions came from an underground electrical vault. They're still looking into the exact cause. Take a look at this amazing video from Minnesota. Pretty purple and gold from the northern lights lit up the early morning sky. A company that usually chases tornadoes recorded this video.
And Decision 2012, it's a busy day. Voters in 5 states headed to the polls for the Republican primaries. Mitt Romney is all but certain to sweep those contests in Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. So instead of campaigning in any of these states, Romney is in New Hampshire to deliver a speech. Newt Gingrich did campaign ahead of today's primaries in Delaware.
I think this is a time when young people are questioning the support they gave to President Obama 3.5 years ago.
And I would hope we would do well here, either carry it or come very, very close.
And then you'll have to reassess it for some
Then we'll have to reassess.
Ron Paul is also in the Republican race for the White House still. Today, 231 delegates are up for grabs. It's not your typical campaign stop, nor your typical tour bus, but it's on the road and stopping in Hampton Roads to raise awareness. The message for local students.
And teens have gotten drunk off mouthwash, cough syrup, even vanilla extract. Health experts are concerned about the new way they've found to get high. The warning for parents coming up. More than 1 million people are living with HIV in the U.S., and many don't even know they're infected with the disease.
But one group is trying to change that by taking its campaign on the road. Then on your side's Allie Lucia was at today's stop in Old Dominion. Allie?
Tom and Nicole, while not everyone would agree with this group's tactics, most would say that more must be done to stop the spread of HIV. This group certainly has a way of getting their message across.
We're out there hitting the pavement to try to make people aware.
It's not exactly the campaign that students expect to see when in between classes on ODU's campus.
You gotta appreciate the effort. It's a little random, like this smack in the middle of the day.
It's called condemnation, and this group is passing out, yep, you guessed it, by the thousands today.
My name is Michelle Small. I work for Access AIDS Care. We're giving out free condoms. And we want you to stay connected and stay protected.
And it's these one-on-one interactions that Michelle Sma says have the most impact.
And I get out in neighborhoods that are at high risk, and I ask people to get HIV tested.
And that's why her organization with the AIDS Healthcare Foundation are teaming up all week long in Hampton Roads. They're encouraging anyone they see to use protection and get tested. With a quick swab or prick of the finger, this HIV test tells students if they've tested positive for HIV antibodies. 1 in 5 people don't even know they're infected.
Hampton Roads is #1 in the state of Virginia with reported cases of HIV and AIDS.
According to the health department, Hampton Roads has more than 7,000 reported cases of HIV. That's more than any other region in the state.
Did you get some? Come on.
But like any campaign, there's always a little friction. The police showed up for a short time after someone complained. The officers left soon after once they learned ODU had given them clearance. As for Michelle, she knows she can't help everyone, but she can try.
These are the children of our future, and what we do is extremely important.
Access AIDS trying to take the same stop to Norfolk State's campus, but the school is already launching their own high-risk campaign this spring. Allie Lucia, 10 on your side.
And Condemnation has 2 more stops in Hampton Roads. If you would like access to the HIV testing, go to the Virginia Beach United Methodist Church tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. and then Saturday at the Peninsula Institute for Community Health. That's on Marshall Avenue in Newport News from 9 a.m. until noon.
Now, in high definition, your Super Dot for 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
A little bit warmer but windy out there today.
Yeah, but boy, back to normal from all the junk we had over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then yesterday, too, we had spritzes of rain and cloudy. And
it's good to see the sun again.
That's the international symbol for spritzes of rain and cloudy. Sunshine, that's the symbol for sunshine. We got that today. Here's what's going on. We've got some Thursday morning rain. It's going to get nicer, warmer over the next couple of days, but that's one fly in the ointment that we've got going on. And you can't even see that rainfall on here yet. It's not this rain. It's going to develop way on up into Minnesota and Wisconsin and then just dive right on through. Now, I'll show you what's going on. Again, our skies mostly clear tonight to partly cloudy overnight, but then then here it comes. This area right here, diving very, very rapidly through. First thing in the morning or in the pre-dawn hours coming up on Thursday. So it's kind of a fly in the ointment, the Thursday morning rain of an otherwise very, very nice quiet forecast, certainly warmer, especially by Thursday. Thursday morning rain, again, we've got nothing going on in terms of rainfall right now. Skies are partly cloudy. There are a couple of stray showers way out off to the west. We've got a little wind shift line dropping through overnight. Pardon me, and that's increasing our cloud cover, and skies becoming partly cloudy, west-northwesterly winds at about 10 miles an hour. So relatively quiet overnight, tomorrow morning, and really tomorrow during the day. It looks great. A little bit of a breeze, 10 to 15 miles an hour for much of the day, and then drops on off again by the evening hours. Winds kind of flip around a little bit, becoming more southeasterly. Now, this is tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. We start warming on up just a couple more degrees for tomorrow. It's around 66, 68 for today. It'll be a little higher than that coming up for tomorrow. Now we move on into Wednesday night at midnight, Thursday morning midnight. Start to see some clouds move in. 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. By 4 o'clock in the morning, what is this? 15, 25 mile an hour winds. The warm air is punching northward, but along with that warm air, we're seeing a little bit of an upper level impulse, low pressure area basically traveling eastward along that front. And as happens this time of year, they tend to drop in from the northwest. So there's where we are by 7 o'clock in the morning. You're going to want to watch Jeremy Wheeler between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock for the possibility of some thunderstorms. And look at that, 20, 30 mile an hour winds. By the noon hour, it's pretty well gone. Just a couple of stray showers later on in the day, and then the cooler air drops back on in coming up Thursday night late. So again, it looks like we'll see that rainfall. The bulk of it, really almost all of it, will be overnight in the pre-dawn hours of Thursday between around 4 o'clock and around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Partly cloudy skies today, lots of sunshine, few clouds in the afternoon as expected, but not too much more than that. I think we'll see some more cloud cover during the overnight hours, but right now partly cloudy, low to mid 60s, high today 66. Look at the low last night, 42 degrees. We're going to be pretty close to that again overnight. Not quite as cold in inland areas, but just as cold near the coastline. Winds would drop off, certainly breezy today, 20 to around 25 miles an hour. Temperatures right now, again, 61, 64, 65. Elizabeth City last night's lows around 42, 43, 44, but it was 36 in Richmond. So it'll not be quite as cold in the inland areas, but near the coastline, about as cold as it was. We'll average things out at around 43 for an overnight low. So you'll need the heat on or really bundle up overnight. 68 degrees for tomorrow. We had 66 today. So again, a couple of degrees warmer. Definitely warmer for Thursday, but watching those showers and thunderstorms in the pre-dawn hours, especially of Thursday. Cooler on Friday and Saturday, a little warmer with another shot at some rain coming up on Sunday, and then cool again on Monday and Tuesday. Most of these temperatures, normal high temperatures 70, most of these slightly below normal.
And as the weather gets and hopefully stays warmer, there'll be a lot more backyard grilling. You might want to check that bottle of ketchup, though, before you put it on your burger or hot dog. We'll tell you how long you should really keep all those condiments.
Do you have a medicine cabinet full of expired or unused prescription drugs? Hear how you can get rid of all of that old medicine safely this weekend. Health experts say they are noticing a disturbing trend. Teenagers apparently distilling hand sanitizer to get drunk. Doctors treated several teens for alcohol poisoning at emergency rooms in Southern California in recent months. Most hand sanitizers have 62% ethyl alcohol. Separating the alcohol creates a 120 proof shot.
If a person who's never had alcohol before, they can get drunk almost instantaneously. It's very, very dangerous.
Experts say parents should buy foam hand sanitizer because it's harder to distill the alcohol. They also say parents should monitor the sanitizer the way they would monitor a liquor or medicine.
And before you get ready for that first picnic of the season, you might want to check the expiration date on the ketchup, mustard, or the other condiments in your refrigerator. Mustard and Worcestershire sauce are good for a year. Ketchup, cocktail, or chili sauce, they'll keep for about 6 months. Barbecue sauce, that's about 4 months. And for mayo and salad dressing, this is it. You should toss these after 2 months.
2 months?
2 months. Nicole, pickles are only good for 2 weeks. You don't have old mayo in your fridge. You can check other foods by using the Food Keeper feature on the Food Marketing Institute website. We have a link under featured links on WAVY.com.
I should be dead right about now. Looking for some peace and quiet? head to Maine. The Institute for Economics and Peace named the Pine Tree State the most peaceful. Researchers looked at several factors, including the number of homicides, violent crimes, and incarceration rate. Vermont is the second most peaceful state, followed by New Hampshire, Minnesota, and Utah. According to the survey, the least peaceful state is Louisiana.
All those cold weather states.
New England, huh?
Something in common there.
Yeah.
A teen is walking and talking, and then she suddenly falls through the sidewalk. You're going to see how this happened next.
And damaging witness testimony today in the trial against former presidential candidate John Edwards. Next on WAVY News 10 at 5:30, accusations of his elaborate plan to cover up an extramarital affair.
Test check 1.
Mount Etna is putting on another show in Italy. The mountain is spewing lava and hot ash high in the air. You're looking at video from overnight, Mount Etna's 7th eruption this year. And this explosion and fire hurt more than 20 people at a sawmill. This is in British Columbia, where investigators are trying to figure out how it happened. It's the second fire at this mill in less than 4 months. And we do this every day, walk and talk on the cell phone, but while a teen in China took a call, well, take a look. The sidewalk suddenly, there it is, swallowed her up. A cab driver saw the fall, slammed on the brakes, and ran to the hole to find the girl at the bottom of a well 18 feet deep. He jumped in to help, but rescuers also had to pull her from the hole. Apparently, water eroded the ground under the sidewalk, and that's what made it unstable. That bit of weight, that was all she wrote. Still ahead on WAVY News 10 at 5:30, a man tries to lure a young girl into his car in Jamestown.